Aloha and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today on the webinar series on what stops you from manifesting what you truly want. I just want to give you a warm welcome and thank you so much. We have several different people with us in the group, and I just want to give a shout out to the Superwoman group who has given me so much courage and support in starting my new business and putting myself out there. I also want to give another shout out to the Project Freedom team that has really been an amazing ohana, which means family here in Hawaii, that has also supported me in learning about all these technical tools that I'm learning and again, putting myself out there. And you'll see below I have a wonderful gentleman with me. He's on the panel today, and he'll be telling you a little tips and tools about our topic today. His name is Brian Jordan. And before I ask him to come out and introduce himself, I want to introduce myself. If you haven't been to this webinar before, my name is Candace Box. I am an intuitive life coach. I help a lot of people going through different transitions in their lives so that they can really come to a place where they're working with their highest self and they don't have these limiting beliefs that are stopping them from getting there. A lot of times we just have these programs, habits, and patterns that keep us from what we really want. And so that is also why I created this webinar series, because I truly believe that we all have so much to share. And if we can get out of our own way and share our talents, our skills, and abilities, we all would be in a far better place than where we are today. So down below, I'm going to introduce Mr. Brian Jordan. He is my coach, my business coach, and yes, I need one too. He has helped me through so much, overcoming hurdles and really stepping into myself and my power. So go ahead and come up, Brian.
Hello, everyone. Like I said, or Candace said, my name is Brian Jordan, and I'm a business coach, and primarily for health and wellness practitioners is really where my heart's at and where my passion is. And I'm looking forward to talking with you a little bit later. I'm going to turn it just right back to Candace, and but I do want to give a thank you to her for inviting me to be on this call. I'm really excited about it, and excited to see what she's got to share, because she has an amazing gift and a lot to give to the world. So thank you, and I look forward to talking with you all later.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. He is amazing. I found him actually through an email. I was actually contemplating needing a coach because I need to keep myself accountable. And lo and behold, after I was reading my friend's email, she attached his flyer to the email, and he was showing that he had these classes that he was presenting. So I went to a few of them, and I love exactly what he has to say, especially for me. I'm not all about just business. I'm about being a spiritual entrepreneur, as he calls it. And I needed the tools to help me break through my own beliefs and programs. Even though I do it for others, it's always difficult to do it for myself. So I need someone there for me as well. So before we get into today's topic, I wanted to do a recap of last week. For most of you that did get to watch it, the first main roadblock that keeps us from what we truly want and manifesting what we want is change. When we go through change, it can be either super rough or we do it on purpose. And basically, we went over the willingness to change diagram. And what it starts with first is the pre-existing condition. It's basically our habits, our patterns, our beliefs, and our perceptions that we have and built up within our lives and our experiences. And when things start to change, that actually falls away. So all that we knew was true is now in this questionable zone, because now we're changing into this different realm of possibility. And after that initial feeling of needing to change, we come into this place of shock. And that shock is like, what is happening here? I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm not sure what to do. And basically, when you're in this zone, I was telling you to just take care of yourselves, do things that comfort you, or if someone else is in this zone, you can't offer advice. They won't hear any of it because they're just in that shock zone. To really just be with them and be a support to them at that time. And then next, after the initial shock disappears, we come into this place of unreality, which means our emotions are turned up way too high or way too low. And we're expressing things and saying things that we might not mean or want to say, and we kind of start burning bridges because we're just all out of sorts. And this is just because we have all of our emotions stuffed in our body sometimes, and with the change it brings it all up. It stirs up this like big cauldron of emotions, and then it starts to come out. And actually it's a good thing. However, it's best to do it in a safe environment where you're not hurting yourself and others. And so this is a place where you feel safe and you can express all these emotions, so you can get it out of you, so you can free yourself from these limiting emotions that won't let you change. And then after the unreal emotions come in, we have the wall. The wall is where we actually bust through our programs, whether it be fear, uncertainty, or fear of the unknown, or anxiety. And this place, sometimes people hang out on the wall, kind of looking over the horizon, trying to figure out if this is what we really want to do, if this is where we need to be. Other people like blast through it, and they're ready for the change and ready to make things happen for themselves. Others climb under, over. However you do it, it's most important to get over that wall, because some people, when they get to that wall, they stay stuck, and they just see this huge wall before them, and then they start going backwards, and they start repeating their same life story again because it's so difficult for them to get over that wall. So after you get over that wall comes acceptance and adaptation. When you're in this place, you're starting to settle in, and you're realizing, like, it's not so bad over here. It's okay. It's just a whole new learning experience. Realizing that you have to create a new roadmap to what is before you, and understanding how to maneuver it as well as work with it. So this is a point of time when you're like researching all that's around you, learning your lessons, and applying new tools that you've learned and applying it to the situation. And then after that, you basically create new pre-existing conditions that are way different from the other pre-existing conditions that you created here. And this is what helps you to really understand your environment more so and think of what's more possible. And I actually got a homework in yesterday concerning the willingness to change diagram, and I appreciate this person so much because they were able to share with me where they stop themselves and what happens to them at each stage. And it's so lovely to see because he's becoming aware of those moments in his life, so he can really move into a change that's better for him rather than resisting it all the way through. And that's kind of what we talked about. If you resist change, it's just going to happen with or without you, because the only thing that's constant in this world is change. So that is a recap of last week. And this week, we're going to go straight into what I call analysis paralysis. And I may or may not jumble over this word. It's like that tongue twister. And so analysis paralysis, what is it? How do you know you're in it, and what can you do to stop it? Analysis paralysis can occur when we become super overwhelmed. We have an overwhelming amount of decisions to make, and we're just like, I don't know what to do, my brain hurts. And another one is when you are fearful that you might make the wrong decisions because you have so many decisions before you. You're like, what about this one? What if this one works? What if that one works? What if this is the wrong one? And then you go in this direction. And so we get into this spinning crazy head as well, that because we're not wanting to make the wrong decision. Another way to know that you're in an analysis paralysis is if you have fear of judgment of others and what they think. So basically what you decide to choose, you're kind of stuck because you're wondering if that person likes it, or maybe what if that person's going to say something about it? What if they don't like it? Or what if they judge you? So that starts to run in your head. And right now, with all of that, I already feel the heaviness on my shoulders, and my head is starting to hurt. So, and the last one, oh no, there's two more. Another another way to know that you're in analysis paralysis is if you need to have things completely perfect before you even put anything out there. And especially for business, this is a tough one because you don't have the leisure of time nor money to be perfect. You just got to put it out there. And you know, I know for me, when I began starting my own businesses, I was collecting data everywhere, trying to learn everything I needed to learn before I even started. And that just kind of kept me held back. And we'll go more into that a little bit later. And then the last one, when you know that you're in analysis paralysis, is because you are procrastinating. And basically, procrastination is sabotaging your efforts for the opportunity that is before you. And sometimes this comes from like deep down feelings of not feeling good enough or not worthy enough, or even just so down and out about yourself that you just don't even care, but you do, but you don't. So you get caught up in these duality worlds and with too much information. And before I go more into the analysis paralysis, I wanted to share with you, I went to Marianne Williamson's seminar in Maui. If you don't know who Marianne Williamson is, she is an amazing woman who has wrote a lot of books about change, transformation, and she's incorporated a lot of the Course of Miracles in her book because that is one of the single most things that has truly changed her life when she realized of the divine goodness in all of us and what we're out there to create. And she really feels that a lot of times we hide our light. We hide our light, and then that stops other people from shining their light as well. But when we own up to our power and own up to our own authentic selves, we begin to light the candles of others, and they shine brightly, and then we can all be this magnificent creation in the world, creating many different things with our talents and gifts. Well, when I went to her seminar, I was really amazed because she broke out with her first saying was, "I'm not going to teach you anything new." And I was like, huh? Because I was thinking, oh, I can't wait to hear what she has to say. And she's like, I'm not going to teach any of you anything new because everything that you already know is out there. It's at the touch of your fingertips with your phone, with your computers, or even the books that you read. It's all out there. She's like, what I want to talk to you about today is basically taking action on what you know. A lot of times we kind of just fill our head with so much information that we know, and we like talk to others and we give advice to others about what we know, but we don't necessarily do what we know. And I'm sure you know what I mean, because I know sometimes I'm telling a friend, do this, do that, it's so awesome if you can just get out of this, but I haven't done it myself. You know, so that is where the disconnect is. We have and are gathering all this information, but we aren't using it. And so, like Marianne Williamson says, it's time to start taking action on what we know. And that is where analysis paralysis comes in, because we definitely just gather all this information without really acting on it. And with our businesses, with our lives, it's so important to just keep taking little steps towards that. Otherwise, we just kind of are filling our container, the storage unit, with so much information that one day we're just going to explode because we're not utilizing it. So anyhow, one of the reasons why I feel a lot of people stay stuck in analysis paralysis is the whole idea about change. It really gives us this excuse to stay in our comfort zone. When we're in our comfort zone, it's because we have kind of mastered our environment. We feel safe, we feel secure in it. However, with that longing inside of you, this idea that's formulating inside of you that you want to create something, you want to begin something new, you want to create your business, it starts to like tickle your insides and make you feel uncomfortable. It starts to make you feel restless, and so that safe environment, this little box that you're living in, no longer feels big enough for it, and so you're needing to change. And we can't stay in our comfort zones any longer because we are meant for change and for something better. And this is the time where we can just really realize the feelings that we are uncertain about, and what are we afraid about, what are we not feeling safe about, and understanding that. And that's where I talked to you guys in the first webinar about our 4 archetypes, and what are those 4 archetypes that are wanting to keep us safe and secure, and how are they stopping us from moving and changing and creating the lives that we truly want. So within this subconscious mind of ours, in this place of illusion, this make-believe illusion that we have of safety, we have all our preconceived judgments, perceptions, and habits that have kept us safe. So now we're attempting to move past that and get out of this so-called safe zone and into something new. And when we can go there without feeling overwhelmed, it actually always changes for the better. I don't know about you, but my life is always changing for the better, even though at the moment it's the most scariest thing in the world. And so when you can jump out of the analysis paralysis, let go of that comfort, that safety net, and jump into this unknown, there are actually so many people out there and so many wonderful things that will support you in your life, like God, universe, whatever you call it. And if we can just let go of our safety net, of our comfort zone, we begin to see the magic that actually happens in our lives, especially with business. And I'm going to bring out Brian because what he has to say is amazing. And he actually just did a class last Saturday about the spiritual entrepreneur. And I love that concept because basically when you are creating your business, it brings up everything in your life. And if you can calm those emotions down, and if you can really create your intention, you will begin to manifest all that you've ever wanted. And I'll have him explain that, as well as his tips and tools for how to overcome analysis paralysis. So please, Brian, come on out.
All right. Thank you so much, Candace. God, I love what you're saying. It's just everything is so spot on. I'm like taking notes here furiously. It's great. Yeah, like I said, I'm Brian Jordan, and I was really excited when Candace asked me to talk about specifically this subject today, because it's something that I don't think I even shared this with her, but it's something that I had a terrible time with analysis paralysis, or what I call it perfection paralysis. And it manifested in every way. You know, as she was talking, I was able to go back and say, like, oh yeah, that was me, that was me, that was me. You know, I started out, I've been working in the health field for about 10 years as a massage therapist, and then I did Reiki, and then I did Pilates, and then I did training in hypnotherapy, and then life coaching and spiritual coaching, and it was always going back and forth from one thing to another, and it was like always being in that place of the fence, like maybe I want to do this, maybe I want to do this, but I wasn't committing to one thing. And it was really through working with my own business coach that I realized, like Candace was saying, starting a business is, for me, it was the most intense spiritual training I'd ever been through, because everything came up, absolutely everything. And so when I made that firm decision that I was going to take my interest in spirituality and combine that with coaching, it was just making that commitment, making that decision is when magic started happening in my life and my career, and everything took off. So so on this subject of analysis paralysis and where it stopped me, the most in the past was definitely, for me, it was that the need to be perfect. I just wanted to be perfect at everything. It was that fear of judgment, that need for approval from others. And I think that's a really common thing. I mean, everybody I talk to, pretty much, most of my clients have had that same fear, but it was definitely kind of taking over my life, and it was holding me back in so many ways. So, um, everybody has that fear. So just know that and understand that you're not alone. You're not alone in this. Everybody has that fear, and that's perfectly okay. And the truth is, this idea of perfection and needing everything to be perfect before you start is such an illusion, because there's no such thing as perfection when it comes down to it. Or I guess, as I like to say, we're all perfect in our imperfections. So we're perfect in our imperfections. So be okay with that. Be okay with being imperfect with whatever project or workshop or class or business that you want to create. You don't have to be perfect, and it's okay. Be okay with being imperfect. One of my coaches used to say to me that, I have it written down here, where is it? Success occurs when you take frequent, imperfect action. And I love that concept. I've also heard another quote that was very similar. That was, winners take imperfect action while others perfect their plans. And it's so true. There's always going to be something that you can learn in anything that you do. There's always going to be something that can be done better. So if you're waiting to be perfect in order to start, you're going to be waiting a really, really long time. So be okay with that. Remember that. You're perfect. You are perfect in all of your imperfections. It's okay. There's a great book by T. Harv Eker called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And one of the simplest concepts that he has in there that really stuck out me and impacted me and really got me moving and breaking through this analysis paralysis and perfection paralysis was the 3 words, just 3 words. It was ready, fire, aim. So you always think, you hear ready, aim, fire, right? You get everything ready and perfect and then you shoot. No. You ready, fire, aim. So you get you learn as much as you can in a very short time, and then you just jump into it and you do it and course correct along the way. So again, you don't need to be perfect. Please get that idea of perfection out of your heads. You're perfect the way you are and all of your imperfections. And remember that running your business, having your business, and I'm imagining that everybody on this has a different business or a different project or workshop or idea that they're working with, that they have this analysis paralysis with. And remember that it's not about being perfect. This is not about being perfect. It's about creating a heart-to-heart connection with people. And it's about sharing the gift that you have that other people need. That's what it's about. It doesn't matter if you're perfect. It doesn't matter if your projects and your webinars go 100% how you want them to go. What matters is if you're coming from your heart and you're speaking from your passion and you're touching other people, that's what's most important. So always keep that in mind. So I have a couple of tips and a couple of little stories that I want to share that can really help break out of this analysis paralysis. And one of them really was a lesson from my guitar teacher, actually. And this was back in middle school, early high school. And I wish I could say that he just taught me this lesson and I got it right off the bat, but I didn't. It took many years. But still, what he said always stuck in my mind. So I was playing guitar and starting out, and I really wanted to get a band together and do a performance. And again, it was that same need. I wanted everything to be perfect. I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want people to think I was bad. I wanted everything to be perfect. I wanted to have all of my repertoire and all of my music together and ready right then. And he just kind of looked at me and laughed and said, no, you've got it backwards. What you do is you set the date of the concert, and then you get the repertoire together. And that's going to give you the motivation. That's going to give you the kick in the butt to really get everything done and to really get everything ready. And when you have that commitment down, when you have the commitment, you've got to do it. There's going to be nothing stopping you. You think about, I love art, I love film, I love music. I'm very, it's one of my passions besides working in the healing field. And if you think about like feature films or your favorite musicians that are putting out albums, they don't get everything perfect and then release the film. They set a release date for the film, they set a release date for their album before they're even in production, usually. They're in pre-production, they have the idea of it, and they set the release date. And that gives them something to work towards. And again, when you have that release date, if you don't have a release date, if you don't have an end in sight, it's really easy to keep pushing it back, and to keep pushing it back, and to keep pushing it back, and to never do it. So when you have that end in sight, when you have that commitment, it forces you to work. It forces you out of that analysis paralysis. So I would encourage all of you to do that. Think about what project you have right now, and maybe on this call or just after this call, set a date. Set a date that you're going to have this done. It doesn't matter if you've even started working on it or not. Set a date to have it done, and then deal with everything that comes up. You'll be afraid, and that's okay. That's natural. I'm oftentimes terrified when I set a date and I'm not ready, but it always works out. So let's talk about that, actually. Let's talk about that fear that you might have behind setting this date without feeling like you're ready and without feeling like you're perfect. And I know, when I've done it, it's like this fear of like, oh my God, what if it goes wrong? What if everything is terrible? What if everything is bad? And I'm here to tell you, like, I've done a lot of events and a lot of concerts, and even the ones where I was just like, I got done with it and I felt like, because we're all our own worst critic, right? And I would feel like, oh my God, that was awful. I can't believe that it went like that, and this could have been better, and this could have been better, and this could have been better. Inevitably, every single time, even with what I thought was the worst event I'd ever done, I would always have people come up and say, oh my God, that was so amazing, or you were so spot on with what you said, or what you touched upon just really resonated with me, and it was exactly what I needed to hear right now. So that experience really, it helped me, and it helped me realize that, again, you don't have to be perfect. Be okay with being imperfect. It's scary to do it, but feel the fear and commit and do it anyways. And again, what it comes down to, it's not about the perfection, it's about creating a heart-to-heart connection. And when you really connect with your higher purpose, with your higher self, when you connect from your heart, you're speaking your truth, then that will get through. And people will feel that, and people will understand that, and the people that are there that need to hear it, they'll be there, for one. Something will conspire, and they will be there, and they'll get exactly what they need from what you have to say. So it's not about being perfect. Like, again, perfection is an illusion. Just get that out of your mind. It's about creating a heart-to-heart connection. And when you're there, think about anything you've ever done where somebody has changed your life. Whether it be through coaching or through a webinar or just through something that one of your friends has done, and it changed your life. Why? Because there was a heart-to-heart connection, because it touched you on a deep level. So focus on that. Focus on that heart-to-heart connection. Focus on that passion, and that will get you through anything. When you feel that fear coming up, think about, wait, what is my higher purpose here? What is that passion? So that's tip number one, is set the date, focus on your passion, focus on your heart, and just do it. And tip 2 actually is kind of a continuation of this. It's really about connecting with your deeper purpose and your deeper mission behind what you're doing. We all have a deeper purpose behind everything that we're doing. Our business, our projects, our hobbies, everything is an extension of us. So what is your higher purpose behind that? I'll give you an example just of where my higher purpose and my mission behind what I do. So I do business coaching for health and wellness practitioners. Was really passionate about it because, one, I'm passionate about the healing arts, so obviously that was a good mix. But where it really kicked in with me and where I really got that deep passion and that deep purpose was looking around and seeing my friends and my colleagues that were healing in the healing arts, and they were struggling and they weren't getting enough clients and they weren't making enough income, and it was month to month by them, and they didn't have enough to pay their bills. And it really hit hard. And it hit hard not just because I didn't like to see my friends struggle, you know, that was hard enough, but it hit hard because I realized that there were a lot of people out there that needed the healing services that they could have provided. There are so many people out there that need healing, and because they weren't introduced to my colleagues, to my friends, because my friends were struggling to get everybody that they needed, that was healing. That was a lot more people that were missing out on healing that they needed. And so I realized that by them not being successful, it was actually hurting more than just them. It was hurting the community as a whole. It was hurting people that needed the services that they had to provide, the gifts that they had to share. So that became then my deeper mission, was to help heal the community, help heal the world, help heal other people by helping wellness practitioners create a successful business. So it wasn't about me earning money. That's never a deep enough purpose. Of course, earning a lot of money is great because the more money you earn, the more good you can do, but it's not a deep enough purpose. Helping out my friends was a deep purpose, and definitely that was a part of it. But when I realized that I could help out the community and the world as a whole through what I had to offer, was when that mission and that passion kicked in, and my business just took off. And it was like all that analysis paralysis, all the perfection paralysis I had about a year ago just dissolved away. So think about that. Think about what your deep mission is. What is your deep purpose? What is it that you want to help out with in the world and in the community, and connect with that passion and run your business from that kind of the inside out, from that spiritual side, from your higher side. Run your business from that center and you'll be unstoppable. I mean, it's an amazing thing, the miracles that start happening when you come from your heart center. So that's it. I would like to take you on a quick, maybe 5-minute meditation, if that, just to really help you connect with this higher purpose and higher passion. And I'll just ask, Candace, do we have time for about a 5-minute meditation?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Right.
Good. All right. So I'm actually, I'm going to click on a slide here. Just so you're not just looking at my face, but I encourage you to actually close your eyes and get yourself centered for a moment. We're going to help you embrace your brilliance. So go ahead and close your eyes and really take some deep breaths. Feel your feet on the earth. And as you inhale, just feel like you're sinking down into the earth. And as you exhale, feel like your feet are pushing deep roots into the earth. So you're really getting connected with the ground and connected with the earth. So you're inhaling feeling yourself grounded, feeling yourself sinking, exhaling and pushing deep roots into the earth. And inhaling and exhaling. And feel like all of your energy centers are opening up. Feel like your crown and the top of your head is opening up, and you're really connecting with your divine guidance, with your higher self, with your higher purpose. And feel this energy flowing throughout your body, so this grounded, centered feeling. And really let yourself get connected with your higher self, with your higher purpose. Feel like you're almost floating up into the air, like you're viewing yourself from a higher place. So you're in your higher self right now. And feel what that feels like. Feel that connection. It's unconditional love. No matter what goes on, this unconditional love. Again, knowing you're perfect just the way you are. And from this higher space and from this higher purpose, think about something right now that you've had this analysis paralysis on, this perfection paralysis, this project that you want to start, this event you want to do, business you want to create. And see yourself right now from this higher standpoint, doing your craft and doing your business. So you've busted through the fear and you're giving this workshop, you're giving this webinar, whatever it is. And feel how you're connecting right now with your higher self. So you're coming from your heart space. You're coming from your deeper mission, your deeper purpose. And you know, just let any insights, let any messages, any images, so get into the emotion of it, get into the feeling, get into the visualization, whatever it is that you're seeing, you're hearing and feeling, just let it come to you. Let any insights come to you. And feel what it feels like to be doing your craft. And feel what it feels like as you're reaching these people, as you're sharing your gifts with people. And see how it feels as people are giving you this feedback of how it's helping them. And from this higher space, it's like you can see everything, and you're seeing these people, and they're leaving your care. They've received your service, they've received your product, and it's changing their life, and you can see that. And then see how that, in turn, by changing their life, it's like a ripple effect that's spreading out. As you're bringing more of passion and more love and healing into their heart, more change into their heart, that's spreading out in turn, and it's affecting everybody that they're coming in contact with. And feel how amazing that is. Knowing that you're having a deep effect, not just on the people that you're talking to and that you're working with, but everybody that they're coming in contact with as well. So this is not about you. This is not about you. This is beyond you. And really feel that and understand that. And realize as you're looking from this higher perspective that the more you procrastinate and the more you hold back and you hesitate, the more that people are not getting the gifts that you have to share with them. So consider that, and don't rob people of the gifts that you have, because you all have an amazing gift to give everybody. And don't rob them of that. So look from this higher perspective, see the change that you can give by connecting with your mission, by connecting with your purpose. And bring this feeling back inside your body as you start to float down back to where you are now, back to this room, back to this moment. And take this passion and take this change. And connect with that. And come from your heart. And get out there and change some lives. So thank you so much. And I encourage you, I really hope that I can meet some of you someday, and I really encourage you to get out there, man. People need what you have to offer, and you have this brilliance, this light inside of you, like Candace was talking about earlier. So go share it, because the world needs what you have to offer. So be brilliant and give that to them. So thank you so much, and thank you, Candace. I'm going to put up my contact information really quick, if I can.
Yes,
find.
please.
And oops, I logged out of. So I'll pull it back up, and in a moment, maybe at the end, at the end of the webinar, we can put it back up. And if any of you have questions, comments, want to find out more, you can email me on the contact information. Go to my website. It's www.coachjordan.com. And I would love to hear from you and love to hear any comments and insights that you had. And yeah, thanks, and be brilliant.
Thank you so much, Brian. Oh my gosh, he has been a lifesaver to me. And as I was listening to yours, I was thinking about this webinar because I had like zero clue of what I was going to do. However, it was presented to me as an assignment with the Superwoman Bootcamp to create a webinar series. And for me, I basically set up the date and had no clue what I was going to do, but I was like, it'll come my way. However it's going to be, it's just going to come my way. And it's crazy because here I am now, you know, a third of the way in, sharing all of my gifts with you and the information that I have within me, my experiences, and it's been a wild ride. I'm definitely growing and changing, and at the same time, I'm still feeling analysis paralysis take over me. However, I kind of step above that and rise above that and change myself so that I can really do this, because I do have so much to offer. And I know that a lot of you are ready to do your projects, ready to do your new business or take yourself on, and it isn't easy. And so what I want to continue sharing with you is basically the cure. You know, Brian shared with us different things that has helped him move through analysis paralysis, especially with that perfectionism. And I've heard that word so many times before, especially myself. I hold myself to the standard of perfectionism that doesn't even really exist. It totally is an illusion. And one of the words that I've replaced for it is pure fiction. So perfection is pure fiction. And I cannot remember where I heard that, but when I heard that, I was like, that is so perfect for me. So what I want to go into is a lot of times with analysis paralysis, we get into this zone of overwhelm. And we know what we're doing, it's just there's so much information. And so for me, I'm going to describe to you my story as well as my husband's story, because I know his story very well, because we're doing this together. He and I are both entrepreneurs, really setting up our lives so that we can share our talents with the world. And for me, I am very detail-orientated. I really focus on all the small details. I am great at planning, organization, and just getting everything squared away in the beginning. However, when it comes to the big picture, that's when I freak out. I feel like, oh my God, there's too much to do. There's all these little things, and I have to get it perfectly in place. And then that's where my overwhelm comes in, because I am not focusing on just my details that need to, like ladder, step by step, creates this ladder of going to the bigger picture. And then my husband, he is fantastic at the bigger picture. He has it in his head. He knows where he wants to go. And what gets him overwhelmed is all the little details to get there. And so sometimes, rather than doing the small details, then he just automatically just stops already, because it's just way too much, because all the details are just too small, minute, and it's just so much, and he can't even put one duck in front of the other. And so what I want to share with you is micro movements. With me, with his style, with the detail-oriented person, or with the person that has the bigger picture, micro movements are the bomb, especially if you begin to create a habit and a ritual around it. One thing you could do, especially for me, is to get my list and create my list of the things that need to be done for just today, so that I don't get overwhelmed with the bigger picture, right? Just really focusing on the little things that can be done today. And when that's done, then toss that paper out and move on to the next. And for my husband, it's not a whole bunch of little things at one time. It's probably just one thing. And one thing will suffice, and he feels so proud and so good about himself. And that then gets him a little step closer to his bigger picture. And sometimes when both of us start doing it, we find that when we do the little things, those micro movements, it actually didn't take very long. It wasn't as daunting as we thought it would be. And at the same time, we're that much closer to what we're creating, whether it be my webinar or the project. And so when you can figure out where you are, if you're the detail-oriented person or you're this bigger picture thinking person, it doesn't matter. Just take micro movements, and that will help get over the overwhelm and going crazy, because there's just too much information. Also with that, I wanted to share with you that it's so important to find accountability partners, or a support group, or a business coach like Brian Jordan for me. I know for me, I am a great starter and a great finisher. However, the in-between time is like that marathon runner who keeps on going. Sometimes I just kind of fall away, and that's when my projects stop, or I fall into analysis paralysis. And so when I have the accountability partner, which I had 2 of them with the Superwoman group, Terry Nicholson and Lisa Burnham, they are amazing. They really helped me through a lot, and that's why I'm here today. And basically, when you can get these support groups, especially where you have your weaknesses and they have those as strengths, they can really help carry you through, so you can get through this business or project that you're working on. And the book that I was referring to last week, this one here, The Millionaire Master Plan, remember, it talks about the 4 different types of people. The dynamo, which is idea smart, the blaze, which is people smart, the tempo, which is senses smart, and the steel, which is detail orientation smart. And so for me, because I'm detail orientated, it's so important to find the other ones, the other 3 that will help me through the analysis paralysis, so I get things going. And when you can get that kind of support team, that kind of accountability partner, or your coach, oh my goodness, you'll go so far. You'll realize, for me, when I look at myself 3 months ago, it's kind of hard to believe, because I just took this torch that started burning within me and ran with it, and I didn't know where I was going to go, but I grabbed along this support, these coaches along the way, to help me get to where I am today. And I'm continuing to go and keep on moving. So it's so important in that time to realize that you need the support as you go out and take care of your business, so that you can get over the analysis paralysis, get over the perfectionism, and to get into your business and into your mission and your purpose here in this world. Another thing I wanted to share with you that keeps us in overwhelm and in analysis paralysis is the scatterbrained. When you're so much in your head, you're not present in your heart, with what Brian Jordan was talking about. When you can come from your heart and really be present with yourself and with others, actually that's where the magic does happen. When you're in your mind, you're in this container, you're full of stacks of paper, books, and information, and it gets really crowded and crazy in there. So you can step out of your mind and get into your heart and go back to your why, which was what he was saying. And I was reading Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, and we all fall prey to compulsive thinking. We think about this or think about that, and all of a sudden our brains are just going off on all this information, and we forget to be completely present with ourselves. And it's in those moments when actually everything that we ever need will come to us. And to explain this, I want to share with you a piece of my story. Basically, when I was doing this webinar and I was freaking out, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? Where am I going to get this information from? I know from doing all my schooling and personal growth seminars that the best thing I can do for myself is to sit in meditation and to quiet my mind and go into my heart and really hear the true message of my voice, because that is where the answers lie. And when I began this webinar, I was like, okay, what I need to do to make this happen, and how am I going to do it? And it's crazy because these signs come through, and people will say something that you just needed to hear, and it's like, oh my gosh, and then I wrote it down. Okay, that's the start of my webinar. And then maybe later I'm reading a book, and in there has another answer of what my second topic's going to be about. And so I'm like, great, then I write that down. And without having to even try or figure it out on my own, the answer starts pouring through. And that's how I am here with you today, being able to create from this heart space rather than the mind space. The mind space is, again, where it holds the information, but you want to be able to come into yourself, into your heart, so you can take the necessary action steps and make it happen. And granted, you know, maybe we don't know the information right away, but that's where I was able to call on my coach and have him help with the webinar, because it's not about competition, it's about cooperation, where we can really share in the wealth of knowledge together and support one another through this endeavor of creating our businesses. So the last thing I want to share with you is the story, or the idea of Mind Palace or workshop. This is something that you can create within you, because at any given time, like I said before, the answers are always there for us. We just have to ask the question. And in one of my seminar classes I took, we created a workshop. And in this workshop is our safe haven place, where we feel so calm, peaceful, and just at peace with ourselves that all of the information just comes through. And in my workshop, I created this beautiful office on top of a waterfall with the water running through it and beautiful flowers everywhere. And in my office, I have a huge big screen TV where I can pull up any information I need, just like from the internet. I also have a telephone and an elevator. And the elevator is really cool because I invite anybody that I want to know knowledge from into my office. And I say, I want Oprah Winfrey, and then she comes down through the elevator, and I ask her questions. And if I just keep silent, the answers, she'll speak, and the answer will pour through. And this is all within meditation. And so I'm going to take the last couple of minutes here to walk you through this meditation and just begin to start creating it. And the more that you work with it, the more that you'll find that you don't need to look externally for answers. That it's all within you. You just have to be quiet enough to hear them. And just so you know, it's really fun, because I even saw a TV show Sherlock Holmes on the BBC, he utilizes it, and he calls it his mind palace. And even The Mentalist, I don't know if you guys watch that on TV, but he uses a mind palace as well to find out information. We all have access to this because we're all connected, and we can have those answers available to us at any time, but it's oftentimes, again, that compulsive thinking, our minds are just going off, that we can't get quiet enough to hear those answers. So I'll walk you through this meditation. So if you guys will close your eyes and just take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And how we're going to get there is going through the colors of the rainbow, which also coincides with your 7 chakras, which are your energy centers. And first we're going to enter through the color red. So if you can see the color red floating all around you, you can even picture a red apple. And just breathe that red energy in. And next, we're going to go through orange. Have the orange permeate around and through your body like a fog hovering around you. Just picture the ripe fruit of an orange. And next, you're going to move into the color of yellow. Yellow, bright like the sun, or banana. And have that permeate all around you and breathe it in. And next you'll go into the color green. And just look at the green, green grass all around you, permeating around you, filling your lungs up. And next you're going to go into sky blue. Blue like the bluest sky, and you're just breathing it in. And next you're going into the indigo color of your mind. This is where dreams occur, your visions. And lastly, we're moving into purple, and this is your highest self. And as you step through the purple mist, you're going to walk into your scene of peace and calm. It's a place where you just feel so incredibly joyful and grateful to be in. Smell the air and feel the wind flowing across your cheeks. And take this time to construct your own little building or massive building. You want a door that you can enter through and go in, and you might have several different rooms, but one of them is your main office. So create your office. Is it a big office with lots of windows, or is it a nice, cool, dark place where you can feel like you're just in the zone and you can do a lot of work there? Construct an elevator where you can invite people in. And also create your telephone. Your telephone can go through your TV, it can go through your computer screen, and you can call anyone up that you want to call. And next, most importantly, I want you to create your medicine cabinet. And in this medicine cabinet is all these wonderful lotions and potions that basically when you are sick or hurt or in pain, you can come here and just take a potion to make all that hurt and aches go away. And feel your body. How are you feeling here in this place? Are you feeling creative? Are you feeling happy and peaceful? Or are you feeling a little anxious or overwhelmed? And know that this is your place, your space to create whatever you want. So if it does cause any anxiety, scratch it and create a whole new thing. Let your imagination run wild. And at any time that you need information or you just need to feel rest and peace, especially from any overwhelm or feeling like you have to be perfect, you can come here at any time. You just have to go through the colors of the rainbow to get here. And you can invite anybody in, and you don't have to invite anyone in at all. And last but not least, create a little library, some of your most favorite books. These are your go-to books that you need for when you need inspiration or help or advice. And with this creation, now go ahead and open that front door and take a look from the outside in. And then we're going to step back through the purple haze and down through the colors of the rainbow again. Indigo, sky blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. And I want you to take a deep breath in and let out your breath. And another deep breath in and let out your breath. And you can open your eyes. And know that at any time, again, when you are feeling overwhelmed, or if you need to have some kind of answer or something to help you with your next project or business, this is a place that you can go and return to. I love my workshop or my mind palace. It has been a safe haven for me and a place where I can rejuvenate, get energy, as well as get awesome answers and advice. So I definitely encourage you to utilize it. And if you have questions about it, you can also email me at CandiceBox11@gmail.com. So I'm going to finish off here with your homework assignments. And I know there's a lot of you that are watching that have not turned in the other ones. Again, I highly recommend to participate and take the action steps so that you can really move forward in your life. And especially when you do the homework, it starts a transformation within you. It begins this little change, and it lets the universe know that I'm ready. I'm ready to take myself on to that next level and move forward. And so if you need reminders of what the homework is, or if you have questions, again, don't hesitate to email me. So the homework for this time around is about going into meditation and going into your mind palace. Really constructing this beautiful place for yourself that you can have this safe haven and receive energy and get information, because it really does work. It's amazing, especially when you can just quiet your mind long enough to get out of your head and just find the answer. Another assignment I'd like to give out is micro movement. So just like Brian Jordan said, first and foremost, schedule the date when you're going to launch, or when you're going to create, or when you're going to have your project and perform it or whatnot. Just really set that date and create the micro movements that will help make it real. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't need to know everything at first. Just take it one step at a time. Alrighty, thank you so much for joining me today. Whether you're catching the replay or you're here live, I really appreciate all of you for joining me and keeping up with these webinars. We do have 3 more, and next Tuesday, again, I have to look at the date. I always forget. Hold on just a second. That'll be next Tuesday, October 7th. I'll be here with a new guest speaker, and we'll reveal to you the 3rd roadblock that keeps us from stepping into and manifesting what we truly want in our lives. So be back here 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much. And Brian, if you are there, you have one quick moment, go ahead and reshare your screen. I just need you to say something really quickly, and that way it'll show it.
All right, here I am. Can you see?
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. This is my contact information. So if you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to email me, and I would love to hear from you. And check out my website as well. And but yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and thank you, Candace. It was such a pleasure and a joy to be able to talk and to be able to hear what you had to say. And it was a great webinar. I loved every minute of it. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And just so you guys know, too, down at the bottom of the page that you're on, there is a Get Access button. And what that is basically what has helped me put myself online. And it's just been a great resource tool that I've utilized that has helped me take myself on to a bigger level, especially on a global scale. What has been so amazing is by learning this system, I've been able to capture the interests of people from Australia, from Canada, all over the United States without me having to even know who they are. And it's been fantastic to learn this online system and platform that has taken my business to another level. And so if that's something that you're interested in, you can go ahead and click on that button down below, and it just says Get Access, and go ahead and register. If you have any questions, let me know. And again, I appreciate you all being here, and we'll see you next week, Tuesday. Aloha.